everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. I hope you guys had a lovely Christmas. I know I did. I will be having a book haul coming up. Any Christmas gifts that were bookish, that kind of stuff will come in January, as well as a few other videos that I promised to do in December but didn't get to. I don't know how I didn't manage to get to them. It is baffling to me. But I am going to start from yesterday being Christmas Day till the end of the year being the 1st of January, doing my tops. So top 10s, top blah, blah, blah. So today we're going to be doing the end of the year superlative tag, which is created by Olive from A Book Olive, and I'll link her channel down below. I'm going to do it in the publisher edition, which means I'm going to be mentioning books that publishers sent me over the course of the year that I really enjoyed to answer these questions. Question number 1, most likely to be in a movie. So the book that I think is most likely to become or should have become a movie, and that would be The Wolf Trial by Neil McKay. Neil is a fabulous human. I have been watching him on Twitter, and his outspoken morals and values that I agree with are fascinating, and they really shine through in this book, discussing the ideas of what makes a person good, what makes a person evil, the idea of monster. This man is being tried as a werewolf, as he has committed several murders, but it's almost as if they don't believe that a human is capable of such evil. I really love this, and I think it definitely needs to be a film. I can totally see this being a film, and it being a fabulous one at that. So I wish that would be a movie. Somebody do it. Best drama, king or queen, most overdramatic character or book. And that for me would be Roses and Wrought by Kat Howard. Now, I did actually enjoy this book a lot more once I finished it and got out of the world. This is the story of two sisters that go to it's like a retreat for artists. One is a dancer, one is a writer, and they're working on their masterpieces in this community. People that they come into contact with are some of them are highly dramatic and over excitable. I don't think that I want to call the two young girls that are the main characters dramatic, but I can definitely see some of these characters being drama queens. I don't like the term drama queen. It kind of, for me, it's not my favorite. Best dressed is the next category, and this is Beauty is a Wound, and it's by Ika Kurunanawan, and this is a story of magical realism in more of the Gabriel Garcia format, much more of the classic magical realism style versus fairy tale-esque. I really enjoyed it. I actually really loved it. I am hoping to read Gabriel Garcia's books and to be able to dive into the original magical realism, and maybe I'll have more of a appreciation for this when that occurs. I am really struggling here. Most creative, the book with the most unique plots, characters, or storytelling. Now, this is not a obscure storytelling. This is Pull Me Under by Kelly Luke. I plan to read anything that Kelly Luke comes out with. I loved this book. It was fabulous. It's about a young girl who is being bullied and picked on, and she ends up stabbing her bully and ends up having to go into a mental health asylum because she has snapped. Her mother has recently committed suicide, and her father is now disowning her, as he is a Japanese man who thinks that she has brought dishonor to the family. And she continues on with her life after she and her father stop speaking, but then he comes back into her life, and she has to decide which way she wants to go with the life she's made for herself or her home back in Japan. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really interesting conversation on the idea of Japanese culture and honor, and what it means to be a woman in that society. Popular, the book with the highest ratings on Goodreads. This is not the highest ratings on Goodreads, but it was definitely the most popular this year. This is The Vegetarian by Han Kang. Yes, I enjoyed it. I actually, though, have given it a lot more thought, and I feel very differently about how I did when I first went into it. I feel as if no matter how much this does talk about mental health, there is a lot of abuse of a mentally ill person in this book, and that really hurts me and makes me very sad. So while I do maintain the high rating that I gave it as a book, I think it literally is gorgeous and fundamentally a beautiful book, but I think that there are definitely some aspects of it that are super problematic and very abusive to the mental health community. The most likely to succeed in the books of years to come, I went with this. This is not one that I was sent by a publisher. publisher. I couldn't find a book that was sent by a publisher that to me resonated with years to come classic style. This is Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow: Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness. I think that this is not only something that should become a classic, but it is something that we must consider to continue to create art, because we are putting people into situations where they shouldn't be. We are arresting people of color due to their color and not their guilt or their crime. I think that this is a huge part of our society right now, and it needs to be addressed, and I don't think it's going to go away, and therefore this book should become something that lives on and continues to be read. Class Clown, the book that made you laugh. Now, where'd you go? Found it. Okay. Banana Kiss by Bonnie Rosiski. This was sent to me by Porcupine Quill Press, who I love. I need to write them again because I am hoping to work with them again in the new year. This book was fantastic. It is about a young woman with schizophrenia and her time in a mental health facility when her parents try and take her out, bring her back home, and then they have to send her back in, and so on and so forth. The reason that this made me laugh was not because I think, oh, haha, funny, she's in a mental health facility, but because her voice as a character is so accurate and depicts mental health so strongly. There are things that cross my mind on a frequent basis because of my mental illness that are so laughable to the neurotypical brain that I can't help but chuckle, and this captured that beautifully. Those ideas that are just completely obscure, make no sense, and feel really, really ridiculous to the neurotypical person are in here, and I thought it was really funny how she presented it, and it didn't make it feel like you weren't supposed to laugh at her thoughts. It just made it feel like, yes, this is how it is, and yes, it is funny, but it's also very serious. Most Improved, the one that started out the slowest and then got better from there, that would be Goth by Otsuchi. I really hope I'm not butchering that. This is a story about a young girl who is in school. She becomes obsessed with a brutal murderer that is outside of her home, and she becomes a potential victim because of her obsession. It starts off really, really like low-key, kind of blah, 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 but then it just gets into it, and oh boy, it gets crazy. It gets crazy. And then we have The Cutest Couple. And what is the cutest couple in the book? This is Each Vagabond by Name by Margot Orlando Little. Now this book, okay, Stella and Ramsey in this book are so bad for each other and so awful, and they're ex-lovers. But the things that they go through and the ridiculous aspect of the fact that they are so different than the rest of the community, and the community so ostracizes them, and Stella is so determined to try and be normal, and Ramsey is so determined to try and teach her she doesn't have to be normal. I loved these two characters, and I really, really enjoyed watching their relationship. I can't say that I wanted it to be romantic because I don't think it would have been healthy for either of them, but at the same time, their love was absolutely just something that jumped out of the page, and they loved each other in a way that, while romantic and wonderful, I don't think it was necessarily needing to be a sexual relationship. There was like sexual tension at some points, but I felt that it was a better loving and helpful and supportive relationship, and therefore a cute couple. Last but not least, Biggest Heartbreak, and the book that broke your heart the most, and that for me was The Leper Compound. And this is the story of a young girl whose mother passes away. She's living in Africa trying to help different communities. Her sister has schizophrenia and it's taken away from her, and her sister's schizophrenia becomes worse because the only person she can rely on is her sister, and oh my god, it broke my heart. I can't. Okay. Yes. That one like destroyed me. I was crying for days. All right, that has been my book superlative tag, and it is based around my publishers' books that I was sent by publishers. Now, I'm going to tag some people down below, but I do not expect them to do publisher books as well, because I am just very proud of the fact that I read 95% of all the books I was sent by publishers, and so I wanted to make sure that the ones that I really enjoyed got their spotlight and got their time in the spotlight, and the rest of them are either ones that have been mentioned in other top 10s or 5s that I have coming up, or they were great, but they didn't make the cut for the year. I am going to tag Amanda Center, Sophie from Portal and the Pages, Adam from Memento Mori, and I'm going to tag Restricted Section, and I'm going to tag Blatantly Bookish, and Hannah Tay. Hannah Tay, please sass this up. All right, I will see you guys. So bye!